right, guys, I got the power plant put in its place. This is where the power plant's gonna be. I'm gonna have a little bit of an exhaust clearance problem here, but that's okay. We're gonna have to make some custom pipes. As far as the steering linkage, I am clearing the engine with the steering linkage coming across the top, so that tells me that part's gonna work. The other thing that I wanted to know was my sheet metal. How's my sheet metal going to clear? Because I know I had an issue before when I was figuring out how to do this. I had an issue with, is the hood going to clear the V-twin? And by lowering this down, is it going to clear my spindles? So that's what we're going to do next. I'm going to take the hood and the fenders, I'm going to set them on here and see where we're at. I do know the rear fenders, I'm going to have to do some rear fender work. As you can see, they are hitting the tire. They're resting on the tire right now, and they need to go down about 2 inches. So I'm either going to have to flare those fenders out or cut them out. I want to flare them out. I don't think I want to cut anything. So then I want to put my hood bracket back together when you weren't looking, and seems like my measurements worked out well. If I get the hinge in here, it's sitting on the factory hinge, so therefore that's where it was from the factory. I did cut the hood in the front here and I flared it out because I didn't want to trim this off if I didn't have to, but it turns out I think I'm going to have to, because we will hit the tire and we're not going to have clearance. It will set down on it, but we're going to have to do some fab work to the hood to make her sit where we want her to sit. And then we also have to have clearance for when we're, for the wheels, for the turning. But at this point, I can tell you, so far so good. I mean, I'm really impressed with my guesstimations. I probably have 3 inches between the flywheel cover and the hood, which is really good because I want clearance there. I want air blowing through there, but that's pretty much where she's sitting right now. I mean, that's kind of where I want it. And then I'll have me a nice bumper out front here. Look all sweet. The hard part is going to be, I got to get my steering going. I got to get my steering all squared away, and then I can figure out. It's going to be tight. But I think once I trim this hood back, like I should have done a long time ago, but I didn't want to cut it unless I knew I had to, but now I know I have to. So once I trim that back, I'll have plenty of clearance for my turning radius. So far, hey, it looks pretty good. I like it. It's going well. Nothing, no major catastrophes to deal with yet, so. We're gonna take the hood and we're gonna set her aside again. I know my power plant's gonna clear my steering, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna finish my steering linkage. And once I do that, I'll reset the hood back on here and see what I need to trim. I'm not gonna trim it until I get the steering working. So that's the next point of business. So then after that, I can pull the motor out and I can freshen her up. This motor here, it's a 27 horse Kohler. It's probably got 20 hours on it. It's a fresh motor, so, but it's also been sitting. It's been inside, but it's been sitting. So I'll probably fire up and run her a little bit, and then maybe I'll decide to do some work to it later. I don't know if I want to do it all at once, but that's where I'm at right now. I'm gonna leave this thing right. I'm gonna leave this slug right here, and I'm gonna figure out my steering, and we're gonna go from there. Sweet. I'm not sure why this camera it's blurry, but it is. I don't like the blurriness. I got a screwed up setting or something. But if we look down here, you can see my Hopefully you can see my steering rod. So what I did with my tie rod, drag link, you know, different names it has. So what I did is I took it and I got my alignment where I need it, and I cut this much out of it. All right. So I cut a couple inches out of it to where now we're going to be end to end, and it's going to be very, very close to where I need it. I think close enough to where the handling should be okay. If it's not, I'm going to have to deal with that later. But I'm going to take this to work. I'm going to take this piece to work and I'm going to weld it. I'm going to put a sleeve on it. You know, I got my welder, but I have a nicer one at work, so I'm going to take this in tomorrow and I'm going to weld it together, and I'm going to put a sleeve in there so it's nice and strong. So therefore then my tie rod is going to be all taken care of. Next thing I need to do is I need to figure out, you know, how we're going to make the steering work down here. As far as I can tell at this point, I have sufficient clearance to play with down here, so I could run my steering link back. I might be able to use my factory gear. I don't know if that's a good idea, but so this is the factory gear right here for the steering. Your steering column goes through this hole, and it's got a gear on the bottom, and then when you turn the wheel, it turns this gear. Okay. So, and underneath there is a linkage for that. So I believe I can like use this, because I know I can set up a whole different steering system, but that's a little more time than I want to spend right now, guys. What my goal is, I'm not building a SEMA show tractor, a race tractor at this point. I'm just trying to get this thing functional, get it working correctly, and then I can work the bugs out in the end. This isn't something I'm going to throw together. It's going to be perfect by any means. So I just I'm going to put it together. I'm going to make it work. I'm going to make it work as nice as I can with the parts that I have. And then from there, we will fine tune it. Because I really believe this is going to be a fun little toy. I'm really excited. I can't wait to rip it around the backyard. Hopefully not flip it and hurt myself. But yeah, that's what we're doing with the steering. And then I have some parts on order. I have an adjustable pulley that's going to go on the engine. That's going to allow me to adjust my pulley size just by adjusting that pulley, because that's key. Because you don't want to gear too high, you don't want to gear too low. So by putting that pulley on there, I think I'm probably going to go with, I want to say 5 or 6 inch in the rear is the key. But there's a lot of ratios there, and there's a lot of people on this platform that know a lot more than I do. But and I'm just taking their word for it. So that's where we're at right now. It might not seem like I did a lot tonight, but I really did, guys. I worked on this for a few hours. We're supposed to be getting some more snow at some point, so being the responsible person that I am, I probably ought to go get some sleep. So I just wanted to get going on this again. I feel good about my progress. I got a little further, and I'll be back for another episode of What the Hell Am I Doing? Alright? I appreciate you guys watching. Hopefully this not being a long video will help you watch it. I don't want to make long, drawn-out videos talking, because nobody likes me talking, but I seem to can't stop talking. But that's it for tonight. That's it for the Real Old Race Tractor, and we'll see where we go from here. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Have a good night. Be safe and enjoy yourself. That was it for that night. Now we're going to move forward to the next time we touch the tractor. We'll just include it in the same video. Sides and my dash back on. I got a couple bolts in the motor. I went ahead and got my steering tied together, and I just put a steering rod on it tonight. I'm going to go ahead and we'll put the steering column or the shaft in here and see how it steers. The other thing I had to do is I had to adjust my rear end, because I lowered it in one of the last videos, I lowered the rear end to where I thought I'd like it. I did like it there. I did like the way the machine sat. The problem is it put my pulley and my belt too high, so therefore I would have been rubbing on the lower part of the frame of the tractor. So I had to go ahead and raise it up about an inch or so, and we'll see how the fenders fit after that. But I think before that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put the steering shaft in, and I want to see how that works. I want to see, you know, how much I can move the steering wheel down for comfort. So, and to see if the steering works. That's another key part I want to know. So we're going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to lift her up a little bit. The rear end shouldn't fall out. I have a couple bolts in it. If it does fall out, it'll just be interesting for you to see. So. The other part that will be interesting is if my little harness I built lets go. You're going to enjoy that too. We're going to see if we can slide this steering shaft up in here. I'll probably have to go back and watch my other videos to remember how the shaft was held in here, because you know, that's a thing too. There's my little green clip, I do believe, and I just seen my little green clip the other day. Where did I put it? Right here. See, that's why we can't clean up around here, because that's how we lose stuff. You start cleaning and picking up, and you lose things. Alright, so I got my steering clip in. Let's go ahead and lower this thing down. I do have a switch for this winch setup. I just haven't hooked it up yet. But I do have one, and I do need to do that. So wherever the steering wheel is, see, this is where stuff goes all wrong, because, you know, I knew how this went together, but not going together the way I took it apart. That's the weird part. This is when you got to go back and watch the video to figure out how you did it. So we go ahead and throw some grips on that, or maybe grab my channel locks. We're going to see if we're on the right track with them front wheels. Well, good news. The wheels turn. I built my tie rod to tie the two together. I literally used the original one. I just cut 2 inches out of it. And I made a linkage from here to this wheel, straight back to the steering gear underneath. That all lined up perfect. It worked. I thought I was going to have to do a bunch of screwing around, but I can't believe how good it worked. So I'm going to go ahead, I think, and put this steering wheel on. and then we're gonna really get a feel for it and see how my turning radius is. All right, so what I was doing is I was looking for my steering shaft adaptation. So I got my steering shaft right here, and then if you look at this part, it's got a sprocket on it. The sprocket goes into the wheel. You can see the teeth maybe a little bit there. Well, that sprocket goes into the wheel and it locks in. Well, it's supposed to go on the shaft and lock in. The problem is there's a little adapter that goes on the shaft that goes into this. And lo and behold, you know, I decided one day that this place is a mess and I need to clean it up. And I'm pretty sure, I think I threw it out. So that's kind of an issue that I'm throwing parts away that I need, because I pretty much tore the shop apart looking for it. I can't find it. Which, you know what? It's not terrible, because now I'm wondering, this steering wheel, let's say I have my parts and the steering wheel's kind of sitting like this, like a normal lawnmower would, if I can get it put on there while holding the camera at the same time. See, the angle of the wheel, that's kind of like I'm mowing my lawn angle, all right? I don't know if that's cool. I think I kind of want it like this, right? Because that's how you kind of want it. I mean, you know, you don't want to be all straight up and down when you're going fast or doing donuts or whatever you're doing. So now I'm thinking, all right, you lost the part, so just go all the way and change position of the shaft, which I think I'm going to do. And hopefully you can see in here. I know it's dark, but this is the shaft on the inside. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a cross member that goes from this side to this side. I'm going to cut this shaft. I'm going to put a U-joint on it. And then off this same cross member, I'm going to hold this part of the shaft and the top part. Therefore, I can take the top part and I can lay it back to where I want my steering wheel to be. So instead of being this angle, it's going to be this angle. With the simple attachment of a U-joint, which is very, very available. And I might as well just do it now, because, you know, if I put it together like this, I'm not going to like it. So that's where I'm at right now. If you got a project going on in your garage, the bottom line is, don't clean your garage. All right?